Philippines photography tour, capturing real life, real people, real energy. I've just come back from what I can honestly say was one of the most rewarding photography trips I've ever done. A photography tour through the Philippines with Alfonso from Alfonso Photo Tours. This wasn't your typical stand here and take a sunset photo kind of trip. It was full immersion, street photography, landscapes, portraits, culture, and real human connection. We started in Manila, which is basically sensory overload in the best possible way. Noise, color, chaos, movement. Everywhere you look, there's a photo waiting to happen. Street vendors cooking, kids playing basketball in alleyways, locals just going about life. As a street photographer, it's paradise. The biggest difference on this trip compared to traveling solo was Alfonso himself. Because he speaks the local language and understands the culture, he was able to connect with people instantly. He'd chat with locals, explain what we were doing, have a laugh, and suddenly we weren't outsiders with cameras anymore. We were welcomed in. That meant access to places most tourists would never see. We photographed inside neighborhoods, small shops, homes, fishing communities, and even areas you simply wouldn't feel comfortable entering alone. And because that trust was there, the photos looked natural, not posed or forced. For me, that was huge. The photography, street, portraits, and landscapes. This trip covered a massive range of photography styles, which I loved. Street photography markets, alleyways, mechanics, vendors, kids playing, real everyday life, raw and authentic. Portrait photography. Some of my favorite images were simple portraits of people we met along the way. Shop owners, locals sitting outside their homes, faces full of character and stories, landscapes and islands. After Manila, we traveled across several islands using short flights and ferries. Each location felt completely different. Beaches, waterfalls, rice fields, coastal cliffs, volcanic scenery, and incredible sunsets. The variety meant you never got bored creatively. Learning along the way. Even though it felt like an adventure, it was also a hands-on workshop the whole time. Alfonso was constantly helping. Small adjustments to composition, changing angles, watching the light, suggesting ways to make portraits feel more natural. Those little tweaks made a massive difference to the final images. It's the kind of learning you just can't get from YouTube. What stood out most for me wasn't just the scenery, it was the people. Filipino locals are incredibly warm and welcoming. Even in areas with obvious poverty, there was constant laughter, smiles, and generosity. Photography became a way to connect, not just observe. That's something I'll remember long after the trip. This tour wasn't just about getting good photos. It was about experience, being present, meeting people, stepping outside comfort zones, and seeing life from a different perspective. Having a guide who understands both photography and local culture makes a massive difference. The access, trust, and opportunities we had would have been almost impossible to create alone. If you're into street photography, travel photography, or portraits and want something authentic, this kind of trip is 100% worth doing.